In the name of God, the compassionate, the merciful. We can see in the next scene that while Obama is still looking distressfully at the lotus flower, the camera gradually exits the classroom, leading into the cold, dark, and icy space outside. Eventually, the camera shows the space outside the classroom, the schoolyard, the continent of America, and then the whole world in a symbolic way. In this scene, the first detail that grabs our attention is the scriptures on the wall next to the classroom and the school's wall. Scriptures that are written in a fancy and vague form, yet are legible. These writings contain some very important information that are combined in complex layers and should be decrypted step by step. As a whole, the writings on the school wall inform about the near future of the world and America in the era post-Obama and reveal Illuminati's complex plans to its followers across the world using codes and secrets. Please note that the iPetGo 2 animation was produced and released in 2012 in the middle of Obama's 8-year reign. However, the information we are about to discuss are related to what took place after 2016. Surely, this information is not a prophecy. Rather, it is a plan that Illuminati and Freemasons transmit to their followers around the globe, so that they are ready for the events to come and to properly play their part in each step. Nonetheless, what are the hidden codes and mysteries within the images on the school wall in the animation? We should investigate the codes and mysteries within these images in layers. In the first layer, these images point towards Psalm 23 of David, one of the parts of Old Testament of Bible. Psalm 23 of David holds a large significance in the devious and blasphemous beliefs of Freemasons and Illuminati. We should first scrutinize the expressions used in Psalm 23 of David. 1. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not be in want. 2. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. 3. He restores my soul. He guides me in paths of righteousness of His name's sake. 4. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For you are with me, your rod and your staff, they comfort me. 5. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. 6. Surely goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever.
The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He makes me to lie down in green pastures, leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. He leadeth me in the path of righteousness for His name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for Thou art with me.
The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for His name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for Thou art with me. Thy rod and Thy staff.
The original scripture of this psalm is very beautiful and gratifying. However, the devious beliefs of Freemasons, Illuminati, and Zionists have unfortunately provided an evil concept within Psalm 23 of David.
America and our friends and allies join with all those who want peace and security in the world, and we stand together to win the war against terrorism. Tonight I ask for your prayers for all those who grieve, for the children whose worlds have been shattered, for all whose sense of safety and security has been threatened. And I pray they will be comforted by a power greater than any of us, spoken through the ages in Psalm 23. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for you are with me.
Two key expressions of "through the valley of the shadow of death" and "dwell in the house of the Lord, Jerusalem forever" exist within this psalm. The global Freemasonry has attributed "through the valley of the shadow of death" to Donald Trump, in a way that even t-shirts bearing the words Trump, "Prepare to walk through valley of the shadow of death," are being sold in the USA. This clearly shows that Donald Trump is known as a person linked to Psalm 23 of David among his critics and followers. His critics have even published a web page online in jest that reads Psalm 23, King Trump version. Therefore, in the first layer, these writings are pointing towards Psalm 23 and the distressful and frightening age of the world during Trump's era. In the same layer, the sentence "dwell in the house of the Lord," meaning Jerusalem forever, also indicates Freemasons' conspiracies after Obama's term and at the beginning of Trump's era to facilitate the emergence of the Antichrist in Jerusalem, or Beit al-Maqdis. As we know, Donald Trump moved to American embassy in occupied Palestine, or Israel in Illuminati's perception, from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, and many Masonic countries who kneel before the US followed his will. Furthermore, by unveiling his evil plan called the Deal of the Century, Donald Trump has tried to wipe away Islam and Abrahamic religions from Quds. By abusing the evangelical Christians' beliefs and in the name of Christ's resurrection, Trump is, in fact, laying the foundation for the establishment of the Solomon's Temple in Jerusalem and starting the inauguration of the Antichrist. Therefore, the second part of the important sentences in Psalm 23 also indicates Freemasonry and Illuminati's endeavors towards building a global government of Antichrist in Jerusalem in the Trump era. In the second layer of our analysis, if we split the drawing on the school wall in half, we can see that the name Donald written in the upper section of the scriptures. This means that the name Donald, the first name of Donald Trump, has been hidden in the heart of the Psalm 23 word. Thus, the ordinary audience will not be able to realize this encryption. Accordingly, within the aforementioned scriptures, another code has been placed that heralds the arrival of Donald Trump to Freemasons. On the other hand, in the same image, there is a yellow zigzag line coming through the word Psalm 23. This yellow zigzag line indicates Trump's blonde hair, which is known as one of Donald Trump's important symbols. In addition, this line indicates Trump's zigzag signature, which he constantly exposes to cameras. Finally, this lightning-like zigzag points to the fact that the Trump era is the age in which the lightning flash of creation in the Kabbalah tree flashes again. And with it, the processes from Psalm 23 of David start to prepare the inauguration of the Antichrist in Jerusalem. As for the third layer analysis of this section, an unusual line is visible at the beginning of the P in Psalm 23's image, which is quite strange, because the director who created this animation with such care would not leave out such a line unintentionally. Looking at the director's previous record and his intelligence in the previous and future scenes, we conclude that this was done intentionally. This extra line on P changes it to R. Even so, what does R mean in this image? In this scene, on the one hand, the letter R reveals the political party of the president, who owns Psalm 23, as the Republican Party, which is demonstrated with the letter R. Of course, as it was mentioned in other articles in www.alwadosadr.com, the political parties' squabbles in the US are for demonstration purposes and are not true. Both parties are directed by Freemasonry and Illuminati and have an accurate and well-calculated plan to divide the work among themselves in advancing the plans of Freemasonry and Illuminati.
I believe we, and particularly you, your class, has an incredible window of opportunity to lead in shaping a new world order for the 21st century in a way consistent with American interest.
Out of these troubled times, our fifth objective, a new world order, can emerge, a new era, freer from the threat of terror, stronger in the pursuit of justice, and more secure in the quest for peace. An era in which the nations of the world, East and West, North and South, can prosper and live in harmony.
You both were members of Skull and Bones, a secret society at Yale. What does that tell us?
Not much, because it's a secret.
Is there a secret handshake? Is there a secret code?
I wish there were something secret I could manifest.
322, a secret number?
There are all kinds of secrets, Tim, but one thing is not a secret. I disagree with this president's direction that he's taking the country. We can do a better job, and I intend to do it.
You were both in Skull and Bones, the secret society.
It's so secret we can't talk about it.
What does that mean for America? The conspiracy theorists are going to go wild.
I'm sure they are. I don't know. I haven't seen the web.
Number 322?
However, it seems that the task of executing Freemasons' objectives with regards to Psalm 23 of David has been entrusted to the president from the Republican Party, whose symbol is R. Certainly, the fear, tension, and horror mentioned in Psalm 23 of David are in line with the way Republicans, and in particular Donald Trump, operate. On the other hand, the letter R indicates the Regulus star or Alpha Leonis. As mentioned before, Alpha Leonis or the Regulus star is Donald Trump's luckiest star. This star is also considered as the glory, fortune, and victory star of ancient Iranian kings. Hence, due to the hostility towards Iran and for advancement of Freemasonry's evil plans regarding Psalm 23, Freemasonry have intentionally selected Trump to vanquish Iran using his luckiest star, which is very popular in Illuminati beliefs. God willing, such event shall never come to pass, and the global Freemasonry and Illuminati's everlasting destruction is close. Now, for the fourth layer of this analysis, it should be mentioned that school wall images indication towards Psalm 23 of David is again referring to the Kabbalah tree of life, the Grand Tarot, the Trump's role in this tree. Because, as we have mentioned, in accordance with Masonry beliefs, Donald Trump is the equivalent of the Fool card in Trump cards. The Fool can be numbered from 0 or 22, which makes it the most important Grand Tarot card or Major Arcana, holding a special place among the Trump cards as well as within the Kabbalah tree. The Kabbalah and Illuminati followers' spiritual journey begins much like the lightning flash of creation. It begins at the place from which the lightning flash of creation is emitted in the Kabbalah tree, then passes through the crown sephiro and moves to the wisdom sephiro. The end of this spiritual journey and the return of the lightning flash of creation is also from the same path, called Path 11, or Aleph in Hebrew. The tarot trump card associated with Path 11 is the Fool, the equivalent of which is the Joker card. It is also fascinating that Path Aleph in the Kabbalah tree shares the same name of the letter Aleph in Hebrew and Alpha in Greek. Once again, it brings Alpha Leonis, or the Regulus star, to mind, which is Donald Trump's lucky star, and yet again links his character with the Fool trump card. The other important notion is that the Fool trump card has been called not a real fool, but the master of all masters in the Kabbalist meditation guidebooks. This shows that beyond the apparent foolish appearance of the Fool and the Fool character in these cards, the Fool holds the highest Kabbalist rank of master. In these Kabbalist guidebooks, the Fool is called a paradox, and expressions such as all or nothing, or the beginning and the end, or similar expressions have been used to describe the Fool tarot card. This again corresponds with Donald Trump because he's both foolish and intelligent. While he's famous for being stupid, he's also one of the most famous and intelligent entrepreneurs in the world, and this paradox has led the global Freemasonry and Illuminati to regard him as the Fool and entrust the important mission to him. It is said that the journey of Kabbalah begins and ends with the Fool character in the tarot trump cards. Hence, the end of the old Freemasonry age and beginning of its new age, led by the Antichrist in Jerusalem, should be consigned to a person that has a lot in common with the Fool card in Major Arcana. This person is no other but Donald Trump, and of course his British version, Boris Johnson. Alternatively, within various Kabbalist guidebooks written, the expression "the Fool's Journey" has been used. Some other Kabbalist books have used the term "the Fool's Pilgrimage." It seems these two expressions allude to the journey through the valley of the shadow of death, for pilgrimage and dwelling in Jerusalem, both of which have been mentioned in Psalm 23 of David. In commentaries within Kabbalist books about the Fool character, they have in particular noted that he's not afraid of any hazard and pays to mind to the limitations and dangers in his journey's path. He shall reach his Kabbalist journey's destination. Certainly, the destination, which has been noted with the word pilgrimage, is the same Solomon Temple that is admired by Freemasons, Kabbalah, and Illuminati and is located in Jerusalem. It's been written in infidel Kabbalist teachings that the Fool will realize at last that the beginning and the end are the same, meaning he's nothing and everything at the same time. The Fool is the beginning and the end. There's no truth but himself. This shows that Kabbalah and Illuminati do not believe in God at all. They use the same materialistic devil-worshipping descriptions for these beliefs. They believe in humanism. This means that the beginning and the end of Kabbalah's journey, the beginning and the end of the journey to Jerusalem, the beginning and the end of passing through the valley of the shadow of death, and indefinite residence of Illuminati in Jerusalem, reaches to this conclusion that there is no metaphysical God and everything is matter. Indeed, the devil, who is the Freemasonry's leader and the mentor is matter himself. We shall investigate this Masonic materialistic view later. Eventually, it will be revealed that within several layers of this scene of the animation, the conception of the Psalm 23 of David project in Trump's era, the end of the old Freemasons' age and beginning of their modern era, and new world order in Jerusalem has been heralded. The I.Go II director, who is a great Masonic teacher and master, has in advance recounted Donald Trump's features as the executioner of Freemasonry instructions and evil teachings of the Illuminati in Psalm 23 of David. He has called him Donald, shown him as the owner of the yellow line and zigzag handwriting, counted him as a member of the Republican Party, and assigned Regulus or Alpha Leonis as his lucky star. So that with the rise of Trump to power, all Freemasonry lodges and other hidden circles around the world realize the cryptic messages of this animation and prepare themselves for the different Psalm 23 of David era and the return to Jerusalem. It is noteworthy that some other Illuminati soldiers, followers of the Satan, and devil worshippers have indicated the happening of Psalm 23 of David in advance to their followers. For instance, the Illuminati publication called Steve Jackson Games and its website www.warehouse23.com have pointed to number 23, which is a cryptic nod towards Psalm 23 of David. On the other hand, Marilyn Manson, the most famous Satanist singer of the current age, has also released an album called Hollywood in the Shadow of the Valley of Death, in which he sarcastically and discourteously points to Psalm 23 of David, an Old Testament of Bible, and recounts its most important expression in a false and as an object of ridicule. Indeed, such action is a confirmation that Illuminati, Freemasonry, and devil worshippers do not hold a true belief in Psalm 23, and in practice, they abuse it while simultaneously ridiculing its content. The strange point regarding Marilyn Manson's music album titled Hollywood in the Shadow of the Valley of Death is the track called King Kill 33, which has some strange and astonishing lyrics. The expression King Kill 33 was previously assigned to John F. Kennedy, the former U.S. president who was opposed to Freemasonry and was subsequently assassinated in the city of Dallas in 33 degrees. However, paying attention to the track King Kill 33 in the album Hollywood in the Shadow of the Valley of Death and Marilyn Manson's peculiar and cryptic actions against its live performance, it would seem that in addition to John F. Kennedy, this slogan is linked with another important assassination, which is the terrorist operation of the Masonic U.S. Armed Forces against martyr General Qasem Soleimani. However, what is the reason behind this claim? The King Kill 33 track was first released in 2000, in the advent of the third millennia, within the Hollywood in the Shadow of the Valley of Death music album, and was performed numerous times in various ceremonies and events. Accordingly, King Kill 33 was performed live on 2013 alongside a performance called Antichrist Superstar. In this performance, Marilyn Manson came on wearing a military general's outfit with stripes and began singing the absurd lyrics of this track live. On this performance's video, there are several images of lightning present on the set, and most of the performance is done under blue lights. Furthermore, the sentence "the blue and the withered seeds you will reap" stands out in the lyrics of the track. That being the case, there is only one hint towards colors in the entirety of the lyrics, and that color is blue. If we put the important symbols of this performance next to each other, meaning the military general outfit, lightning, the color blue, what would they mean? What is the connection between these words and the slogan "King Kill 33"? Prior to the martyrdom of Islam's popular and valiant general, martyred General Soleimani and his companions, it was difficult to comprehend the meanings behind these symbols. However, today we can understand that the meaning behind the performance of King Kill 33 by the infidel and astray followers of the evil teachings, Illuminati and Freemasonry was the assassination and martyrdom of General Qasem Soleimani. Even so, what is the link between these symbols, the related track, and the album, as well as the slogan "King Kill 33" with General Soleimani's martyrdom? The answer is that the martyrdom of General Soleimani and his companions in a savage terrorist operation by the hands of the Masonic U.S. Armed Forces took place next to Baghdad Airport on 33 degrees latitude, and he was a military general. Furthermore, the name of this operation was Blue Lightning. This means that all the elements, including the military general uniform, latitude 33 degrees, lightning, and the blue lights were used in Martyr Soleimani's assassination by the devilish members of the Illuminati. In addition, Freemasonry and Illuminati hunted Martyr Soleimani down as a kingly hunt for three reasons. First, martyred General Soleimani had become the symbol of international resistance for the righteous all of the world who stood against the Masonry USA, Israel, and their allied countries. His martyrdom was considered a big hunt for the Illuminati, taking into account the fact that they chose the name Blue Lightning for this operation, which was carried out to satisfy the devil. The expression Blue Lightning is related to Satan, and we shall point it out during the rest of the analysis. Secondly, Martyr Soleimani's family name is derived from the name Suleiman, which is Solomon in Hebrew. Considering the fact that Jews, Freemasons, Illuminati, and Zionists call Prophet Suleiman as King Solomon, in truth, Martyr Soleimani resembled the name of a great and famous king, King Solomon. Hence, he was considered a kingly hunt for the Illuminati and the followers of the devil in this regard as well. Third, martyred General Soleimani was counted as the commander of the anti-Masonry operations in the region, but the global Freemasonry was chasing goals such as the transfer of power from the Assad family or Leo to the ISIS terrorist group on top of their common military objectives, so that in their plans it might resemble the transfer of the power star Regulus from Leo to the Virgo constellation. Consequently, assassination and martyrdom of the great anti-Masonry commander of the region, who had left the Illuminati's evil plans unsuccessful, was counted as a great kingly hunt for the Illuminati and Freemasonry. Considering all that has been discussed, we can conclude that the Illuminati's plans regarding Psalm 23 of David was made long ago, and in addition to the animation I Pet Go 2, other servants of Satan had also cryptically indicated Illuminati's future Psalm 23 plans. For instance, Marilyn Manson, the devil-worshipping singer, did so within his album Hollywood in the Shadow of the Valley of Death. Furthermore, It was noted in Marilyn Manson's Hollywood in the Shadow of the Valley of Death album that a kingly hunt, or King Kill 33, must be conducted when executing Psalm 23 of David. By decrypting the codes, it was revealed that they had linked the martyred General Soleimani to this symbology and assassinated him in longitude 33 degrees next to Baghdad airport. They shall present him as the great sacrifice for the gratification of the damned Satan, so that they can continue with the execution of the other parts of Psalm 23 of David and Antichrist's inauguration in Jerusalem, touted as the deal of the century. On the other hand, the iPetGo 2 animation names the attributes of the American leader during the execution of Psalm 23 of David, using multiple layered and complex symbology. He is introduced as Donald Trump. Therefore, we can find out about the many secrets and concealed plans of Illuminati regarding Psalm 23, as well as their other plans by using a combination of the symbology used in the iPetGo 2 animation and the music album Hollywood in the Shadow of the Valley of Death. However, before we move on with the analysis of other sins, we need to mention that after the martyrdom of General Qasem Soleimani at the hands of criminals such as Donald Trump, the first phrase that was posted on Islamic Revolution of Iran's great leader, Grand Ayatollah Khamenei's Twitter account was, "In the name of God, the compassionate, the merciful," which is a holy expression and the first verse of the Holy Quran used before initiating any important work. It would seem that, concurrent to the apocalyptic actions of Kabbalists, Freemasons, and Illuminati enemies in initiating their journey through Path Aleph of the Kabbalah tree, the intelligent and divine leader of the Islamic Republic of Iran has used the expression "in the name of God, the compassionate, the merciful," which is a divine word of God, so as to signal the beginning of the divine side's actions, which begins by the defenders of divine religions in Iran. Therefore, this matter gives hope to all the righteous believers of the divine religions across the world that the good side has also started its activities for the destruction of the armies of evil Freemasonry and Illuminati in Apocalypse. This fact will soon deliver positive results and, God willing, shall spell the destruction of the global empire of Illuminati and Freemasons to commence the global divine government led by the savior of divine religions, the promised Imam Mahdi. May God bring forth to his rise earlier, and Jesus Christ, blessings upon him. After the scene including the Psalm 23 images on the school wall, we see in the next scene that the American flag has been torn. The town's great clock has frozen at 12 o'clock, or in other words, the end of time. This scene shows that the Trump-era's America will collapse and tumble in the atmosphere of apocalypse. This destruction and breakdown is part of the consequences from Psalm 23 of David's execution and of the expression, the Valley of the Shadow of Death. In other words, the destruction of the USA, England, European Union, and any other order in the world are the necessities for creating the new world order led by the Antichrist in Jerusalem or Beit al-Maqdis. This is to say, there is no alternative but destruction of all other orders before the rise of the new Freemasonry and Illuminati age in Jerusalem. In this section, and in adherence with these images, we should point out some important points regarding the Regulus star and its relation with Donald Trump and events in the Trump era. As we had discussed, the Regulus star, or Alpha Leonis, is known as the glory and fortune star of the ancient Iranian kings, and in Freemasons' views, those who are linked with this star shall rapidly gain much power, glory, and authority. However, Regulus' biggest enemy is revenge, meaning that if the owner of the Regulus star intends to exact revenge upon others, he will soon collapse and perish. As we had discussed earlier, Illuminati and Freemasonry have a plan in hand through which USA and other big Masonic countries must be destroyed, so that the New World Order can be established in Jerusalem, led by the Antichrist. Accordingly, when the shining political and military period of the famous Illuminati member and the Regulus owner, meaning Donald Trump, has passed, the requisites for overthrowing him will gradually present themselves. They have prepared the foundation of America's collapse during Trump's era in people's minds, with various seemingly logical methods such as the impeachment, economic collapse, post-COVID-19 difficulties, etc. Nevertheless, the important notion is that after Trump's apparent acquittal from the impeachment proceedings, various news sources reported that Trump intends to take revenge on those who brought about his impeachment and incriminated him. It seems that the keyword revenge, or taking revenge on the people involved with the impeachment, used by American news media, is meant as a code for the start of the USA's collapse, since this destruction must happen before the start of the deal of the century and the establishment of the New World Order in Jerusalem. Hence, soon processes regarding USA's demise may kickstart and quicken the plunge of economic indices, political breakdown, and military weakening of the US. Interestingly, such collapse that is related to Regulus star was also cryptically mentioned in Harry Potter stories. In Harry Potter's tale, there are two brothers named Sirius Black and Regulus Black.
Harry and Heidi, run! Mr. Grim!
Where's Harry? He's a trap, he's a dog, he's an animagus.
Harry, you'll have to kill us too.
No, only one will die tonight. Then it'll be you! Are you going to kill me, Harry? Expelliarmus!
Well, Sirius, looking rather ragged, aren't we? Finally, the flesh reflects the madness.
Well, you'd know all about the madness within, wouldn't you, Remus?
Now, if you'll excuse us, Remus and I have some unfinished business to attend to.
Give me a reason. I beg you.
Severus, don't be a fool.
He can't help it, it's habit by
Sirius,
now.
be quiet!
Quiet yourself, Remus!
Listen to you two quarreling like an old married couple.
Why don't you run along and play with your chemistry set? Pettigrew's alive, and he's right there.
Hey, it's mental.
Don't use your rat!
Remus? Sirius? My old friend!
Sirius, what are you doing here? If somebody sees you...
I had to see you off, didn't I? What's life without a little risk?
I don't want to see you get shut back in Azkaban.
Oh.
Do you really think there's going to be a war, Sirius?
It feels like it did before.
My parents with their pure blood union.
My mother did that after I ran away. Charming woman.
Sirius, when I saw Mr. Weasley attacked, I wasn't just watching. I was the snake.
You look very like your father. Except for the eyes, of course. You have your...
My mother's eyes, yeah.
Lily. Lovely Lily. She's exceedingly bright, your mother. Even more impressive when one considers she was Muggle-born.
One of my best friends is Muggle-born. She's the best in our year.
Oh, please don't think I'm prejudiced. No, no, no. Your mother was one of my absolute favourites. Look, there she is, right at the front. Ah, yes. Regulus Black. You no doubt know of his older brother, Sirius, died a few weeks ago. I taught the whole Black family, except Sirius. It's a shame. Talented boy. I got Regulus when he came along, of course, but I'd have liked a set.
Lovely.
Regulus Arcturus Black.
R.A.B.
Sirius is also Harry Potter's godfather. However, Sirius' younger brother, Regulus Black, is a very powerful wizard who is seemingly in his brother's opposition side and a member of the group called the Death Eaters. It is fascinating that the name of the Death Eaters is linked with the Valley of the Shadow of Death in Psalm 23 of David. It means that, again, the Regulus in Harry Potter's tale is linked with Psalm 23. The important point regarding Regulus and Sirius is that Sirius is the nickname for a star in the Canis Major or Greater Dog constellation. As it was indicated before, the Sirius star is positioned next to the Orion or the Hunter constellation's belt every September. The 9/11 incident in 2011 which was the beginning of the Freemasonry and Illuminati activities during the end of time, was directly linked with astronomical events of the Sirius star in September. Hence, the pet goat, which is the first episode of Illuminati's apocalyptic project in the third millennia, was linked with the Sirius star, and events of the second episode, I, Pet Goat 2, or Psalm 23's execution by Donald Trump, are related to the Regulus star. Be that as it may, the age of Sirius began in 2001, and now the age of Regulus has begun from 2012, with the changes related to Regulus stars transfer from Leo to Virgo constellations based on one viewpoint, or from 2016, and with Donald Trump's rise to power from another viewpoint. It was previously mentioned that although Alpha Leonis or Regulus is the star related to glory, greatness, and power, its life could be short due to some reasons. It is very interesting that in Harry Potter's story also, Regulus' life was only 18 years, but his brother lived for almost 36 years. Therefore, Regulus lived only half of Sirius' lifetime. Considering these points, and Freemasonry and Illuminati's endeavor to get the job done during Trump's reign, we expect Donald Trump's term to be shorter than other governments, in a way that according to the origin of the calculations, Trump's government will be overthrown and break down before 4 to 6 years into his reign, so that the global power can be transferred to Jerusalem or Beit al-Maqdis. The important point in Harry Potter's story is that Regulus is killed in a sacrificial suicidal act, but ends up saving the world. Trump has the same feature in Freemasonry and Illuminati's view, and will act as a semi-hero for them. Within his apparent insanity, he shall destroy his own reign. But this suicidal act is essential for the birth of the Antichrist's government in Jerusalem and Freemasons' global predominance. The story of Sirius and Regulus, which are two important stars for Freemasonry and Illuminati, is very famous among Freemasons. Illuminati's apocalyptic plans have been organized based on these two stars.